Private Living, 13 October 2023. Beach House, this is a place to be with the family, not to talk about serious things. We could observe in the past that the distribution, considering stars 1 year ago or two, has a level and a level considering the instruments you use to transfer, the source of transference, and the expectations at this. In the same way, this will give me some stars or players really linked with the source, really linked with the instruments, really linked with the expectations. Really linked with the expectations can carry others as attraction or setting the interest, considering the relation with the source or variables at the instruments that has links with, and the variables that links with the source. This idea gives ourselves the idea as a system of exploitation as prestige. In general, go by insider trade. If it has company or need or budget, public will set conflict of interest. It's a good reason to have your own courts in the way we have. The general ideas workflow at this, we have 1 year ago and you worked on it during at least 1 year, allowing the monitoring process as following the money. You have the big storage of money Y, transference for using contracts and players related with as X, and estimative Z carrying others to the scam. Was used on Africa, do you remember? And we talk about stones. So we will observe now the anti-mafia procedure has our globe with flights divided with elements okay, elements corrupted. And we will use in general to protect one specific homeland, can be for instance the USA or the Europe. We will check that the players on -1 indeed are criminals, and they will be kind of segmented at the homeland on the ground using the SAGE. That you do the exclusion of +1 since the flight, and understand the crime by attributes and elements we have. This brings ourselves to the budget, considering the review of US debts that are discretionary or are fixed. The fixed debts in general are related with the American people exclusively as welfare state. The discretionary, the money that you can use, for instance, with players related with transferring around, considering even a war, setting zones of interest by estimative Z and others. If your discretionary debt has more interest than the fixed debt, you will abandon your, for instance, defense as homeland to support other areas or other things all around the globe. General idea, because the defense is something really relevant for the American people and for sure a need. At my side, it's quite clear things, and there are no excuse to do not do the punishment and send some elements to jail, considering the top to the bottom. We will understand that this idea goes like this one more time. I have my regular area. Inside my regular area, I will understand that I had a space as failored architecture, and I could observe that is linked with others types as failored architecture, and I will consider that has in each one of these this situation 1 up to 197 nation, 1 up to 197 failored architecture. All this failored architecture now sets the pandemic crime. The pandemic crime having its own piece at the treasury or money around the globe will transfer as parallel function to variables linked with using in general parallel instrument or instrument with parallel management that leads you to clandestine records. And this will set a range real big and real serious of crimes, considering even simulation of war and paramilitary. Here you have your influencers that are linked with the new entries at this scam. This is a Ponzi scam, as you can observe. The exploitation of prestige is linked with the fraudulent management and records, public and corporates, with players on it. That is finally linked with players, linked with the source of the money diverted, that indeed will lead to the clandestine and criminal mobilization in global scale, segmented by each failed nation, unable to have a single decision against the transnational organized crime by institutional weakness. We have no issues about war by the circumstance we have. Have a great Friday 13th. There are no excuse to do this, all things we had, especially the criminal use of institutional power, and a toast to the success of the wild data task. The violations you did against is economic espionage after harass the private living and people on it. Paycheck, 39 trillion, 11 billion case, estimated as minor estimated by the Prudential sign, which is a premise at the international accountability. And we have the right to request the entire money in the way we are doing, and have the right totally satisfied, and also all others, including the punishment, seizure, and consequence against the organized crime. You will hit something like this. You will hit the influencers, after have the information of the entry people, that will give you the player, artist, or whatever that has contact with the management and instruments like overpriced contract, the events, that will lead to the transnational organized crime during the mobilization as pandemic crime, as a parallel function, considering the complementary architecture of all other state and institutional function failure. Jail, seizure and jail, seizure and jail. Here you will have jail, then seizure, financial penalties to refund the national treasury affected. Can't be made, for instance, by Brazil, because Brazil has the organized crime at the institution. Other areas like this must accept be replaced by people with legitimacy to act against the crime, which is being not linked or taking advantage, being teetering by the organized crime. Have a great Friday 13th.